All right, good. So we're gonna give. Yeah. I put back. Come on that side. Yeah.
You already know.
Yeah.
Thank you. And good morning to all members of the media. Welcome to Valley House. On the last occasion we spoke, I did indicate to you all that at the last special meeting of the General Council, we received several pieces of correspondence in relation to resignations in various office holders. That included the then political leader, Dr. Rowley, and the party chairman, Stuart Young, SC, and as well from deputy political leader, Rohan Sinha. Subsequent to that, before Dr. Rowley demitted office as political leader, he also would have removed two deputy leaders. That would be Minister Imwood and Minister Dodd. So that there are several vacancies on the party leadership at this point in time. There is provision in the party's constitution for the filling of certain vacancies between convention, and I will draw your attention to that now. According to Article 12.9, the General Council shall have the power to determine if a vacancy exists in any office and to make an appointment and to fill such vacancy in the absence of specific provisions thereof in the Constitution. That applies to all offices except political leader and deputy political leaders. In the event of, in the case of political leader, it is only the convention that can fill that position. That is the one-man, one-vote arrangement. In relation to other offices, other than deputy political leaders, because of course you know that the deputy political leaders are in fact appointed by the political leader, except in the case of the Tobago deputy political leader, who is the political leader of the Tobago Council elected in Tobago, and that person automatically holds the deputy political leader position by virtue of being the political leader of the Tobago Council. All other party positions can be filled by the General Council in between conventions, so that the position of chairman, which is currently now vacant following the resignation of Stuart Young SC, and the position of vice chairman, which previously was vacant, are two of the positions that qualify to be filled under Article 12.9. In addition, Regulation 4.3b spells out how a General Council meeting can be summoned. And in this case, it can be summoned either on the discretion of the party chairman, on the request of the political leader, or by written request of 15 members of the General Council. I have received a request from members of the General Council dated May the 2nd, addressed to me as General Secretary, citing Regulation 4.3b of the Constitution, which states a special meeting shall be called at any time by the General Secretary on the written request signed by 15 members. We, the undersigned, hereby request a special meeting of the General Council on Tuesday, the 6th of May at 4:30 p.m. at Banksy House. Further, we wish to draw to your attention Article 12.9, which states that the General Council shall have the power to determine if a vacancy exists in any office and to make an appointment to fill such vacancy in the absence of specific provisions thereof of the Constitution. As you are aware, the positions of chairman and vice chairman are vacant, and our request for this special General Council meeting is to fulfill the provisions of Article 12.9 of the Constitution. And this request is signed by 20 members of the General Council. In light of that, and having received that request, I have today issued a notice to the members of the General Council that a special meeting of the General Council will be convened tomorrow evening at 5:30 p.m. for the specific agenda purpose of the election of a party chairman and vice chairman by the General Council. Any questions?
Yes. So, when there may be a convention for political leader?
The General Council will address that matter separately. As soon as we conclude that meeting tomorrow, the leadership of the party will then meet to discuss how soon we can arrange to have that convention. We get back to General Council to get approval for the decision of the leadership in that.
In terms of the meeting tomorrow, you said?
Yes.
Will it be permanent or subject to something that can happen at the convention?
No, whatever is done by the General Council is usually interim until such time as a convention is called.
How does the nomination of someone for chairman and vice chairman?
For this specific meeting, it will take place on the floor of the meeting.
So we know opposition leader has to be MPs and MPs will nominate. So is this
All elected members of the General Council, because we do have observers and General Council as well, they will not be able to take part in the election. The representatives from the constituency group and the officers of the movement will be entitled to make nominations on the floor, and thereafter, if there are more than one nominations, of course, a ballot will have to be taken.
Okay, do you have any interest in general?
No, I have no interest at this time in that.
How are the other deputy political leaders feel? Because it was around his final one line letter to the party very late that he has now removed these two positions of the members.
And going along with this question, those members went away. So,
Well,
was there a reason, and with any constitutional party, there was no reason to move the
Okay.
position. So there's different impression you get from it is an internal rift between.
Well, what I can say is that because deputy political leaders are appointed by the political leader, it will suggest that if that holder of that office is no longer in office, that office holder in the meeting office will give the party the opportunity, or will give the new political leader the opportunity to appoint leaders of his or her choice.
But is there any reason why you
Allowed.
I will not be able to answer that. I'm not sure what conversations may have taken place between the former political leader and his deputies.
Until there's a convention with new opposition leader appointed deputy political leaders.
No, that the appointment of deputy political leaders can only take place by the political leader so elected by the party. So until such time, there will be no deputy political leaders.
And how long will these interim appointees be allowed to act in position before General Council?
Well, they will not be acting in position. They will be fully elected to the position and will hold that position until a party convention is held to elect a full party executive. Yes. Only that you be a member in good standing. So if any of you are members of the PNM here, you can, of course. Yes, sir. Yes, good financial standing and otherwise.
Have you had resignations since the election?
No, we have received no further resignations.
You set good standards, so that doesn't have to do with the fact of whether or not you lost your seat. You did not lose your seat.
No, losing your seat doesn't interfere with your standing in the party. So that if you are not in good financial standing, you're non-financial member, I suppose that is something that will have to be addressed. If there's a member who is on any internal investigation or disciplinary considerations at the point in time, those persons will not qualify. Outside of that, all party members are eligible for consideration.
Just to speak to the idea of any internal review in the party, for instance, we are seeing two separate press conferences.
Dealing with two separate different matters. As a matter of fact,
We deal with the leadership of the party, so I'm trying to deal with the fact that some persons are saying that the house is shaky because we have so many reservations and we have
there is there is no shaky anything happening. There's a very sturdy building. The PNM is very solid and firm, and what you saw earlier was a press conference that dealt with specific matters that do not touch on party business. And I am here as General Secretary of the movement to treat specifically with party matters. So it's not two separate conferences because there's any rift. It's two different issues altogether. One, dealing with matters that touch on government business, and in this case, we're dealing with party business. You just happen to be here at the same time. I didn't want to call you back this afternoon. Since you were here, I took the opportunity to talk to you one time, saving you some. The party is united and doing its business to reorganize itself as the official opposition of Trinidad and Tobago, and of course, to take government at the shortest possible time. Yes. All voting for positions in the PNM can only be by secret ballot. Come back. That is a matter for the leader of the opposition after she's appointed.
Don't you know when she'll be named to leader of opposition, like what the process is?
I am advised that that should take place tomorrow. It's not my place to announce any such activity, but I'm advised it should take place tomorrow. I think Ria remembers a second question.
They have a letter in the future election and the convention. There's always that, because I know that it happened with Mr. Young, but there was a senior that he was being prepped for leadership at the party level.
Yeah, but nobody's been appointed tomorrow. All party members who have an interest in the position are free to offer themselves for election and to garner the support from members of the General Council. There's no appointment taking place. It's an election open to everyone. And those persons who are successful can or may not offer themselves at the convention. And those persons who take part tomorrow are free to then offer themselves again at the convention when it's called.
If it is that, well, if it is that you have the leader, the chairman, and the deputy political leader, and a lot of position being resigning, why not just go straight into a convention?
We will get there.
And allow the membership to vote?
We are on course to that, and this is one of the steps on the way to what you just suggested.
Do you feel a little bit discomforted as the secretary of the party responsible in part for campaigning and organization to have suffered this treachery by the
It's never pleasant to lose an election. And of course, what we do and what we are engaged at this point in time is, of course, in looking at all the factors that may have led us to this point. And we will, of course, as a party, take the necessary steps to take this frontline experienced organization back to government in shortest possible time. Well, we observe all things in the lead up to an election. Loss is not something we work towards. We work towards victory, and that's what we are working towards.
Are you saying that the convention, that all offices will be vacant and that completely new executive will be elected?
That is a matter that the General Council will give consideration to. It's very likely that will be the case, but I cannot pronounce it before the General Council makes that decision.
Mr. Cummings, when Mr. Suriname resigned, it was said that he resigned because he was appointed by Dr. Roy case of MP Young, he resigned because he said based on reflection, it was going to lose the election. But we did not see a resolution from yourself, and some person was questioning whether or not you would have resigned as well, taking part blame for being one of the members of the leadership team. And I mean, we didn't see any resignation from you. What were your thoughts around that when you saw that resign?
Well, I was elected as General Secretary of the movement in 2018. And I think so far from what the party members' feedback, I've been doing quite an excellent job at it. Now, the question of reviewing your position, this position will come to an end in 2026, which is next year. At that time, I will consider whether I will continue in this position, whether I will not offer myself for any future leadership position, or whether I will look at other positions that I may want to consider. But for now, I continue in the role of General Secretary.
Political leader.
That's not under consideration.
There was a mass resolution,
No, in 2010, it was about the same thing. In 2010, some members of the leadership resigned and other members stayed on because, of course, the party has to be managed. So, right. And that's why I said to you earlier on that the General Council will consider that and make a decision in terms of what are the offices that will be up for election at the next convention. It may include all of the positions, including General Secretary. We are here to serve voluntarily. We're not here to hold on to office for all of them. Just a few more questions. Yes.
Normally, the political leader of a party, leader of opposition, position for government.
Yes.
We have an interesting situation where have opposition, not the political leader, party as it stands now. How soon do you expect that will be clarified? Or could we see a situation quite unusual when we have an opposition leader who's not political party?
What I can tell you is that the position of political leader, according to the Constitution, must be filled within 6 months of a vacancy being created.
Yeah, that's possible.
That's right. Now that a vacancy has been created with the resignation of Dr. Rowley, you can be assured that the party will move to fill the position of political leader within the confines of what the Constitution dictates, which is to say that within that 6-month period, there will be an election to the position of political leader. The specific date will be decided by the General Council and you will be advised.
Wasn't there an instruction from the General Council? Wasn't there some interim situation?
No, there's no provision for an interim political leader. What happened in 2010, since I was there, is that the General Council agreed that the caucus would support Dr. Rowley as leader of the opposition because a vacancy had been created in the office of political leader with the resignation of Mr. Manning. And that was done. And subsequent to that, the party went to convention at City Hall and Dr. Rowley was elected as political leader. It was just a couple months after. So on this occasion, we again have a vacancy. The General Council will consider and give a date for a convention and you will be advised. Two more questions.
How do you feel about the ministry that you once headed in the government?
Now, you know this is for party business, but since you've asked the questions, last question that I think we can close off with that. The PNM government paid specific attention to youth development. As a matter of fact, for the first time, the government of Trinidad and Tobago created a specific ministry set up to deal with youth development and national service. And the idea behind that is we recognized that there was a problem in terms of development opportunities for our young people, specifically the category of young persons referred to as NEET. That is, they are neither in employment or any formal education or training programs. And that ministry, the MYENS, spent significant time and effort in rolling out programs geared towards charting a new course and opportunities for young people, directing them to new careers, in terms of agriculture, in terms of heavy equipment operation, etc. And you all are very aware of the many programs that existed under the MIDS. I see that the government has gone back to what used to be the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs. I wait to see, just as all the other citizens, what will occur with the various programs, specifically some of the agricultural programs where people are engaged and where they have been in these programs with the expectation that they will become young and productive farmers to be able to reduce our food import bill, to provide fresh and affordable food for the nation, and to as well have a career in agriculture that they are all looking forward to. This is what we will have to wait and see. It is very possible that the government may continue these programs or they may not, but we will look and see, and we will have something to say as the PNM on these matters.
Just one more question, Mr. Brian. I think there have been a statement talking about coming to make a recommendation to the General Council concerning the one man one food. Is it that when the General Council elect the interim
We have received no such information officially through party channels. That is a matter. Any matter referring to changes of the party constitution goes through a process. And if it comes as a motion to the General Council and the General Council approves any such motion, it will then go to convention. That is the process for changes to the constitution. It has to come as a motion to the General Council. The General Council will have to agree and approve it and agree to forward it to a convention. And the convention will have to consider it and agree whether this is a change that they want to make. It is all a process which is not before us at this point in time. And whether people have ideas about what they would like to see the party engage in at this point in time, it will have to follow the party process. Final question.
That's not to be persons, you're talking about the programs, but we have to see about the hundreds of persons employed in the ministry who are very anxious and don't have a job to do.
Well, all I can say is that I hope that the government, the recently elected government, understand that they have been elected for all the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. So notwithstanding what they might perceive people's political affiliation to be, that they have a responsibility to make sure that we do not victimize citizens who have been employed and who are doing human service to Trinidad and Tobago.
I think the fact that the emphasis to what was looking at that portfolio, and they in fact know a lot of the party people into the two parties employed in this party's program. You think that all of that was delivered?
I don't know what the motivation was. I make no assumptions on how the new minister will perform or not perform. I will wait and see and give him and the government an opportunity to see what they will do. And at the appropriate time, we will have our say on these matters. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
the